I want to double check with the old one as well. So we can highlight the differences between the two. First of all, the cover art picture. This was the cutscene, I guess. Boss looks truly insane, although the videos I've seen from the mechanics doesn't look too crazy, but of course Koreans make everything look super easy with their low ping and insane hands. So it's probably not necessarily a realistic depiction of how hard the boss fight is actually going to be. Let's see. Okay, so with Control 2 and Control 1. Oh. No? Oh, yes. Oh, the control key is just not working half the time. Right, because I broke my control key from playing too much Maple. Okay, second and last patch of the MapleStory Milestone update has been released, featuring the new boss Limbo, as well as the second and last. Oh, they're not doing 3. So as the rest of the Eternal set, or the Eternal set in Korea, Hexa Stat Core 2, and a few other additions. So just out of this, like the Hexa Stat Core 2 is coming out this is a year and a half into 6th job, right? A year and a half into 6th. If there's a year and a half in between every 6th, and we have 4 more of them, are they planning for 6 more years of release before the 6th job is fully available? I hope not. Because then is it really 6th job? Or is it just general power creep? I understand that you don't have the whole 6th job done immediately, but it feels weird to unleash like 1/6 of the 6th job and then call it 6th job, but then just keep power creeping it over the years. That feels a little bit like you're trying to eat your cake and have it too. Like it's a different setting in which you can develop, sure. But so that right now what we have is not 6th job. We have like 1/6 of 6th job, right? You look at your Hexa Matrix, and this character doesn't have a Hexa Matrix, bad example. But you look at your Hexa Matrix, and it's like, I don't know, the boost nodes are there, but it's maybe like between a half and a third available, because only one 6th job skill, and then you look at the stat part and only 1/6 there is available. Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little weird. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but like, it feels a little weird. The next update, test server. Okay, I guess I can stop boosting this. That previous song was just a bit quiet. The next update, test server patch should be around August 7th. Okay, so it's 3 weeks. For the new Epic Dungeon Angler Company. Remember, new Epic Dungeons, so you'll be able to choose which one you do. Be able to get rewards only once per week, just like now. But if you like the other dungeon more, you can pick the other one. And the Teleheart Story event, that's going to be the new area, level 290. It might be similar to Glory, where they let everyone experience Cernium through an event before adding it as a permanent area for higher levels. Yeah, which kind of means that you have to do the whole area twice. Once on event, and then once when it actually releases. But, you know. It's 1 year? Is it not 3 updates? Is it 2 updates? Bro, my calendar is way off. Even then, it's going to be a total of 5 years, right? Oh yeah, otherwise it would be 7.5 years. Yeah, you're right. No. Still though, that's a long ass time. Okay, so let's focus primarily on the differences between the test server from last week and the final release from this week, of which hopefully there are not too many, and then look at and then look at the event notes, if there are many changes there. Okay, drops the same. I assume the ring stats haven't changed. Or the android, or the drop. The souls probably haven't changed. That look really sick, by the way. The soul skills, the damage percent, the cooldown, the summons, the quests. Yeah, that's all going to be exactly the same. Okay. Information on where they put the boss. With the box dropping the Eternals from that straight up. Imagine how most people that are gonna go for Limbo on release are already gonna be full Eternal. So for reboot, it's gotta be pretty useless. But for non-reboot, of course, they're gonna be able to make extra money off of that. But the main reason that people are gonna go run for it is gonna be the drop right to get the other Eternals and the ring. Ring boxes, people are going to be done. These Eternals, people are going to be done. Android is going to be just like a collector's item achievement thing. So that's also not something that's going to be tremendously important. I don't know if there's more information on the HP. I guess it's still like a question mark on the defense is still a question mark. I find it weird that they wouldn't just give us that number as devs. I feel like devs would want you to know how much ID you need to be stacking. Purifying energy. Oh, extra information here. Most of Limbo's attacks will lower the charge if you get hit by them, so you must avoid attacks to continue charging it up. Seems reasonable. Dodge attacks. Don't get hit by the boss. Let's do a little bit of a... Oh. Actual boss music. Probably never get enough of that. EDM buzz. Okay, none of this changed. Good, we like it that way. We like most of the things staying the same. So we don't have to go over this for hours. Just go weaker sees Thought Flower Specters. Right, because he has like these flowers in the ground, and then he tries to, and then he grabs them and uses them as hands. They're like morph together. You added a little bit of text here. And was punishing patterns as you get hit too much, your erosion can spike in a short time. Risk gauge reaches 100. You will not be able to use any skills or the purifying energy skill, and the barriers will cover the entire map, forcing all players into an orb avoidance pattern. You must avoid the small floating orbs that explode when you go near them, as well as the large flying orbs that move alongside straight paths randomly. Getting hit will increase your erosion value. You cannot use any movement or invincibility skills. This is one of those. So it's all about dodging. It's gonna take some practice, some hyperbolic time chamber action to get in there and learn to avoid the most attacks. If my energy skill is not specific, yeah. I think that's the same as the nearby tightening prison. If using it lowers the risk gauge by enough to drop below the threshold, the thought walls that block off the map will disappear. Oh. You can just like counter the counter. Oh, I took out the wiki page. Okay. This video we already watched. I'm gonna watch that again. It basically has some videos on the mechanics and the pictures. Also, like, Duki and Everglow already uploaded the same video as well. Frenzy of the Source. So that's the event for the people. So you can clear the boss the fastest, get a bunch of rewards, a bunch of items. Oh yeah, you can get another closer look at them. That is a creepy looking face accessory. You know what I'm always disappointed at when they make this kind of thing? Is that they don't also make a custom F1 through F7 or something face for them. So that you can still use your original face expressions. You get like an F3 with a ghost. Be like, you know, like, I feel like they should do that. Instead of just making your face stuck like that. Feels like a lazy cop-out. Yeah, and as always, metal looking really sick, but the stats, pure garbage. Oh, this time we have animated rings. That's the first time, right? I don't know if they've ever had animated label or quote rings before. People start panicking. It's only black mage music. It can't hurt you. Okay. Boosters. Eternal equipment, or Eternal as it is in KMS. I'm sure the stats haven't changed on that. They probably thought that through at least a little bit. Items, 6 set bonuses. I assume stayed the same. 15% boss on all of it. Boss reward changes boxes from the same difficulty. I don't know if they kept the same drop rate, but we don't even know what the primary drop rate is, right? Remember, these boxes not affected by drop rate. They're affected by the boss's difficulty level, as always with this type of box. Medals, again, those are not just for looks. These are actually pretty strong medals. These actually look like they have 7 weapon and magic attack and 15 all. So these are, except for the Siren one, get cocked by 1 attack for some reason. But these are going to be like alternate mobbing medals on characters that you have, like the Monster Parker for bossing. But you might want to use one of these on every character and just set it in your preset to the mobbing preset, just to be a little bit stronger there. Intense power crystals. Again, this is a big maybe for us in GMS. We don't know. Intense power crystals sold before the maintenance are considered daily crystals. Okay. If they're going to go through with this for GMS, I think they might, but we'll have to see about that. But basically, they divided the crystal prices to an extent that you will get way more money per character. Sorry, you get the same money per character, but you have to sell way fewer crystals. Basically making it so that the higher level crystals are more valuable, just to make it so that higher level characters aren't like forced to sell like 20 crystals a week. Like you have to go all the way down to like CRA and go down to Princess Snow and stuff on like a level 280 character to get the money that you're owed, but instead cap out at 12. This does, however, mean that if you only sell 12 crystals per character, that you could scale up on the amount of boss crystals that you, boss mules that you have. Since every character can only sell 12, the kind of like magical number of 12 total bossers is going to be not enough to cap out your crystals. And if you want to cap out your crystals, you're going to need, is it 15? 15 times 12 is 180, right? 10, 150, 230, yeah. 15 characters is going to be like that magical barrier to completely cap out on crystals per week, if they all sell at least 12. So you'll be empowered more with a character to do the 12 hardest bosses you can do, rather than just any bosses that you can get a good crystal for. So whether that comes to GMS or not is a question mark. I would say right now there's a higher chance that we get it than not. Again, because does not have to do with how much money we get, but just where we get our money. In a way, though, it will connect to how much money we get, but it will just be a plus. If you build up more bossy mules, which would mean that we play the game more, which means I don't see why this would be a thing that they wouldn't want to get us. Because the money you're already getting now per character is going to stay roughly the same, but you'll be able to play more characters and spend more time playing the game. So I think they will push this through, but they've already said like that they're not doing the roadmaps anymore because they are planning to take a different course on a lot of things. So I'm not sure if that means that things like this will be considerably changed, or if that's just that's just kind of a meme thing that's like not connected to that at all. We'll have to wait and see if they do decide to go for something like a completely different roadmap, or if that's just not connected to that at all. We'll have to wait and see for that. No way of really knowing now, unless you have a uncle or a dad who works, or a aunt or whatever who works at Nexon. If your sister works at Nexon, let us know. Reorganization for the hammers, basically to make it so that it's ready for the next equip sets, because they don't want it linked to the name, but just to the type of item, and then a way of taking the augment out when you use it on a pitch, if you want to use it on the ring or on another item that might be coming in the future instead, with 100% success rate, so you don't like have a chance to fail there to get your augment back. That would be kind of messed up. Second stat, and with the second stat core, we'll probably see that later. Also, they included an event. This macro detector I'm just going to skip because this is never coming to GMS. An event, a Sunny Sunday, where there's a discount on fragment cost for upgrading stat core. So that's going to be a good time to work on your current stat core if you don't already have it built, and work on a new one. Because it's kind of like a min-maxing thing, trying to get the ideal stats on your stat core anyway, right? It's going to make a relatively small increase in final damage compared to just having a level 20 versus having it have the perfect lines. I think only once you start having like 4 or 5 stat cores is it really going to matter which lines you have exactly and how high they are exactly. What up, Testura? So until then, I think it's very min-maxy. But, you know, if you're on your main character and you try to min-max for the latest game content, that is where you're working on. So, what you're working on. So I think that event is a nice addition. Plus, if you're in non-reboot, then or interactive service for GMS, that should mean that the fragment value is probably going to skyrocket around that time. You change prices, and I don't think they'll do that in GMS. Yeah, like I said, it's up in the air. Because of the nature of this system, I think it might be easier to copy it over. But it might actually be harder to copy it over, because it might be connected to some other content. Then we have the buff display settings, where you're able to organize them in layers and minimize them so they don't show up on your screen. If it's stuff that you know is already 100% there anyway and you don't need to see it, it'll be easier to find your buffs that you're looking for, and you can even reposition them on the screen. Maybe like your roar and some other stuff, right? Have them positioned in the middle of your screen so you can know for sure that that the buffs are still going on. And at the same time, hopefully it'll be during a time where the boss is bound or something like that, and you don't need to dodge many patterns, so it won't be too visually distracting either to have them on your screen. Just extra. This will probably take quite a bit to set up for all your characters, but again, just like with the character preset and with the combo key, they are, I think, within a very limited availability of like the base code that they have for this game, trying to implement features that should have been in the game like 10 years ago, one at a time. So I do appreciate the effort of what they're making. Again, I think they should have completely remade MapleStory 2 to be just a better built up version of MapleStory 1, so all of this could have been in the base game instead. And all of this stuff would be very much easier to implement, synergy with third-party like add-ons and stuff like that that could be made to improve the gameplay. But yeah, instead they're doing it this way. It's definitely not ideal, but if you get eventually to a playable game with the functionality of another game from the 21st century, then, you know, better late than never kind of thing. That's like the MapleStory creed, I guess. You can change the size of the bookmarks UI up to 10 columns of 10 rows. You can choose the buffs to align to the left or the right side of the UI. The UI can be moved to anywhere on the screen. Bookmark buffs will not show up in the top right corner of the screen. Oh, so they won't double show up. Bookmark buffs will only appear in the UI when they are active. If you put critical reinforce as a bookmark, it will appear when you use it for 30 seconds and then disappear. Again, what I was complaining about, so that this is an answer to that, thank God, is we had the skill alarm, right? Which is one of those quality of life features as well. But if you're a pirate, for example, you roll the dice. If you roll the dice, you can get a skill alarm when the skill is back up. But the skill comes back up before the buff runs out. And if you don't roll the dice you want to roll again immediately when it's up for the chance of rolling what you want. But if you do roll what you want, you don't want to get a skill alarm when it comes back up, because that's before the buff comes up, and then you can constantly see like, hey, the skill is ready, because then you get tempted to roll over it even though you have the buff you want, and now you have a higher chance of getting a buff you don't want. So you want to get the alarm at that point when the buff runs out, rather than when the buff is available. So this is still not perfect, because now you could be like, oh, I rolled double 5. So now you have to look at when the buff runs out. But you still have to remember, did I roll a double 5 last or not? So you still have to hover over it to see, like, was this a 30% damage one or not, you know? So it's still not an ideal system, but they're getting closer and closer to functionality. So, you know, Scarmule 10k flag done. Nice, nice. Main guild should be done too, right? It was the easy flag, so I did like a quick 1k last run as well. It was not too bad. Only period UI when they're active. Yeah, okay, that's good. And then in-game settings, options, UI tab has been added. DirectX 11. That was removed here? Is that added later, or did they not add DirectX 11? We'll see, I guess. Boss, skip. Cutscene. Easy. Cache, 3 set effects. Okay. Boss improvements. You can go from the boss UI and Maple scheduler. Some extra skill changes. Heroes Echo. Cooldown way cut to 5 minutes instead of 2 hours. Very few times are you going to have to ask a buck for time leap anymore, which is nice. We'd want to be able to use our skills, you know, more than a few times a day, ideally. So with this feature, hopefully we should be able to. Might get echoed. Bozo's tech got nerfed. Yeah, well, it's still 6 months away, okay? You can still echo the Bozos for about 6 months, so you're good. The coupons have been changed in colors so that it's easier to discern between them. Some gold hammer stuff. We don't need to know about that in heroic servers. Androids. Item slots that can be equipped on androids have been expanded. They can now equip a weapon, an eye, an earring, and a ring, so you have more items that you're no longer using. You can put them on your android. Secondary password, I think that's a green PC kind of thing issue. I don't think we are ever getting that. Some skill error fixes. There's probably a few added here, but these are typically very, very small errors, either visual or very rare occurrences of skills, so those are not really worth looking at. Quick character change is the last thing here. So now we have extra stuff. Open API improved, provided information additions. I don't know why I said improved. The notice information search has been added. You can view the MapleStory official homepage's announcements, updates, events, and cache up notices. Okay, for each type of notice, you can view the 20 most recent published notices. When searching equipped androids, the expanded item slots equipment information will be provided. Oh, they already had a minor patch fix, an issue in Limbo where certain patterns would increase the erosion value even while an invincibility effect was applied. Okay. Fixing issue where, so that would be something that we get immediately once the content comes out for us. I hope that that's not going to be like a year later now or something. Isn't it a bit weird that the Monster Park medal is for bossing and medals from bossing is for training? A little bit, yeah. Making sure our movement would stop if you were hit by certain status effects while using rushing skills. The link skills registered in the buff bookmarks will now remain in the bookmarks even if the link skill is removed. Oh, you could put link skills in there. Right, so you could do like the pirate link skill activation or the cane link skill activation to make sure you hit like your optimal burst and stuff like that. Making sure the client... Oh, and you could put your Fiddle Strikes in there. Making sure the client would close intermittently while fighting Limbo. Fix an issue in Lotus, Normal Hard Extreme, where certain skills did not hit while while they were bound, I guess? Oh. Remember Lotus... The new Lotus came out a while before this, so that might be an issue that we have to deal with for quite a bit as well. Lotus is like the first, should be the first patch after the current update. So hopefully that's not too crazy and upsetting for most classes that are going to be playing the game. Hopefully there are like small skills here and there and not huge skills that will determine greatly the outcome of your DPS, of your DPM. Burning Express. So they announced that with the addition of a second hyper burn in the event in Korea, that people were not really reaching level 260 very quickly. Only 5% of people had their 260 done, and they determined that was most likely because they gave them 2 hyper burns instead of just 1. So they wanted to give an extra Burning Express event that they announced that they didn't give details yet for, which is right here, to make sure that people can actually finish their hyper burns within the event so they don't sit on untapped potential, essentially. So it looks like what they are going to give is juice. And as you guys might remember as well, Korea has already changed it so that you can use growth potions on burning characters. All of them, no limits. So these might, because for us initially, if you look at this, might be like, well, why are they giving magnificent growth potions? You can't even use those on the burning, so how does it help them finish the burning? You can't use them on there. And that's most likely coming for us in the future as well. So that's 3 total magnificent growth potions and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,500 EXP vouchers. And if you use the Burning Pass, you can complete an attendance check if you miss one, or 3,000 Maple points, right? You just have to do 1,000 monsters near your level, very easy, to get all of these rewards. So it's not like an, well, in Magnificent Growth Potions, 5,500 EXP tickets in current Maple meta is not that much, but it's an extra bonus on top of everything they're already getting, just to help them finish the hyper burns. So you can imagine, like, if you get 3 of these, and your character gets to, what is it, 254, and like, I don't know, like 80% or something, you can probably slam these 3, boom, and get them done. So, or even lower maybe early 254 and like 40%. I don't know. You have to do the maths. Exclamation mark. Wacky beans. No, that's not what it is. EXP event EXP. I know my commands. Shut up. Shut up. How much does a potion give at 254? Maximum growth. Yeah, 60%. And at 257, so you'd have to work your way back from 257, right? Gives you 54%. So if you're at 46% after the potion, yeah, so that's a little bit mathy. 46. So let's say that's going to be about a whole potion. So you have to be at like 90%. Yes, about 30. I think if you're around 30%, 254 or 30%, that was pretty close. Then, and you slam those 3, then you'll just then you'll see 260, right? So that brings it a lot closer for a lot of people because those last levels are definitely way slower, right, than the earlier ones. And they'll help them get the 2 hyper burns ready. 0 to 100, you guys already know that. Is it still 7 characters? Yeah, 7 characters, 1 per day. 0 to level 100, basically instantly. Build up that Legion like it's nobody's business. Get some daily Zuckum clears after that. Maybe run some Monster Park, get it to 120. Get your level 2 Link. Slowly do event stuff here and there. Get it to 140. Get that S-rank Legion grid. And work your way up to 42 total characters for that 6k Legion for free. 1 page in memory. Book of Festivals in memory. What is this? It's Will. It's Hard Billy. It's the Lotus Drop. Oh, and they put it in a book now. 1 picture per page. Not very optimal use of the space, but, you know, we'll let that slide for now. Spirits, emotions. Uh-oh. Wow, they have so many emotions. Look at that face. It's so emotional. Wow. I can just tell, looking at this face, that this character is indifferent. What do we have here? You can queue up and participate in spirits emotions. Oh, do you have to like find constellations again? 4 players match up across in Crossworld through party play. The game will end when a dark emotion lump is defeated within the time limit. Oh, we're playing darkemotionlump.io. I see what it is. You can acquire up to 3,000 EXP vouchers per week. Yeah, see, just this event is like per week is half of what that login event is doing. The burn is doing. Okay, then we have Von Leon's elite swordsmanship. Oh my god, without a beard, he looks like he's 6 years old, dude. Maybe 10. I'll give him 10 years old. Is it a monsters kill near your level kind of meme, or holy moly? Look at him just show up and decimate the map. Oh, with the Von Leon sword. Nice touch. Oh my god, there's a sliver on the side of my screen. There we go. Saved. 300 monsters. You'll be fully charged, and Von Leon's elite swordsmanship will be activated, gain a large amount of experience, and Von Leon will attack nearby enemies with his powerful swordsmanship. Very nice. Okay, I'm glad my beer was still drinkable. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but the beer is drinkable, guys. It's not the best I've ever had, but it's not too bad. I put it in the freezer right when I got home because it wasn't cooled and I wanted to drink it during my dinner yesterday, and then I totally forgot about it. I was like, wasn't there something in the freezer? I didn't buy anything for the freezer, and I was like, the beer. Like after stream I realized, and the can was all, you can see the can is all dented because of the increased pressure, because it like expands when it freezes, right? Hey Scardor, what up, dude? Random question, but what could you live with 21-star Abzo just because of the damage requirement? Right now, I am living in 2 months on my fire poison in September, and I have 20-star Abzo on there. I am, you know, I stay red, or get blue depending on what the party wants. Do I strictly meet the damage requirements for green myself on a BA? Probably, but I'm running with people who are that much stronger that the run is too short for me to deal my damage. But if I kept leveling on my character and kept building up my matrix, then 20-star Abzo would probably even be enough, yeah. Like 20 stars superior, 20-star Abzo, 21-star CRA is probably, that's the lower bound most likely, but 6-job power creep does allow you to be quite lower funded on the equips to still meet the damage requirement. Yeah, if you want to know, yeah, if you're kind of close, if you want to know, you could just do the BA, because other people will be doing like 17-star CRA for most of the first 4 to 5 runs, and then maybe work their way up to 19-star sorry, SA CRA Arcane, to work their way up to like 19-star Arcane, right? So and that's comparable to 20-star Abzo. So yeah, is the event bugged? AB concert, and it registers date. How many should you have? I think you can have the 4th one now, but you want to go at the half hour. But I believe sometimes at the full hour it also counts. Let me check. But you want to go the first half hour of any hour. But it should change the buff. Yeah, because like that buff shows up. And then it should just count. But the actual buff that you get for bossing, that one only shows up at the first half hour of every odd hour. Every odd server hour. So you have to know if you are at odd hour compared to server hour or at an even hour compared to server hour. Hyper burning level. What is all this? What were we talking about? Oh, Burning World. Burning World. We don't care. We're heroic. Okay. Sunday Maple. Nothing new and crazy, I guess. Oh yeah, so here's that Sunny Sunday for Hexastat, right? When Hexastat's main level is level 5 or higher. Okay, so it's not across the board. Only when the main stat is 5 or higher, the chance of enhancing the main stat is increased by 20%. So you'll have a much higher chance of ending with a... And I believe the 20%, I think that's an additive chance, not a multiplicative chance. Because it doesn't say... Well, no, it looks like it's a multiplicative chance because it doesn't say percentage points. It says just percentage, so it's probably multiplicative. So if it's 4%, it doesn't go to 24%. It goes to 5%. 4.8%. If it does go to 24, then this is wrong, and it should say percentage points, just to be consistent in percentage point distinction that they made in hyperstats years ago. And plus 250% experience from monster park clears. Hey, I don't mind these, man. Honestly, during events, make this like the standard. Instead of like the double point cap and double point generation for the event, just make the plus 250 experience from monster park clears. Just make that like the standard Sunday throughout big events, like always. Everyone will love you. Just a tip for you there, Nexon, okay? Just make this a standard Sunday. People will love that shit, okay? Alright, so those are the changes. Thanks to Max from Orange Mushroom, support him on Patreon. Keep him alive and afloat. So he will keep making these for us because this is great. So as you see, very little to no functional changes here. Just a little bit extra information on the events for Milestone, but nothing crazy there. Cool new event though with extra boost for the 6 jobs. We don't, sorry, for the Hexa... Can I do that a third time? For the burning characters. So try to get those characters done before the end of the event. That might be an incidental event that they throw in because KMS was not clearing, right? Or we know that it is. So it might not necessarily be something that's guaranteed for us in the code when this whole event comes around. If it comes around, when it comes around. A lot more question marks now that they decided to take a step back from milestones. I will be caging my language even more, or hedging my language even more, and be more careful and saying like when this comes, if this comes, hopefully this comes, that kind of stuff, just to make sure we stay true to the limited information that we have in terms of where we stand with localization 3.0 compared to KMS, right? So you personally support Max? Yeah, I've been Patreon run him. I submit that to my taxes every month, bro. Probably for the last, well, I'd have to look. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 2 years now, 2.5 years. Because, I mean, he does a service for me for my videos and everything. I don't think I earn it back with, like, my ad revenue, but that doesn't really matter. I've also donated quite a bit to the calculators, to, like, the Math Pro calculators. Again, even though I don't make that much money, because I do use them, I do think they're a valuable tool, and I want to make sure that people who make those useful tools, they keep making them, and they get at least somewhat compensated for the work they have put in, even if I don't. If personally, financially, I'm probably in one of the worst situations of anyone playing this game, because my content does rely on it to some extent. I feel like I have to at least give something back, you know. Yeah, so that's the whole content here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so indubitably have a lot more Limbo content coming out in terms of people clearing. Remember, Limbo up to 3 man at the most. So you know, start finding your strongest support and your strongest duo damage dealer, or you know, if you're the strongest damage dealer, try finding the 2 strongest supports, grab them. You know, start looking at videos, start looking at mechanics, so you can get those clears early. Try to get that ring. Try to get those eternal boxes. Try to get those eternal drops for the last 3 pieces for the shoe, cape, and the glove to finish off the entire set. Because those 22s are going to be tough to get, so get those ASAP. Right, best of luck. Thanks for checking out the video. And now into our regular scheduled content. Homies.